The thing is too is the wear and tear on our bodies, where if we would have to try to bend 75 sets, by about the 40th set we'd be real tired. Where now it's consistent every time, and this shows in your bends too. If a person's tired and they're getting kind of weary, the pressure that they put on the guitar won't support the wood as much, and we might get a couple more cracks here. Where this one, it doesn't get tired. It's a machine.
The room's clean.
The room's clean. It's nice, and you got even pressure. There's no replacement for that. So
yeah,
it's a lot easier, and it's a lot. Like I said, we might not do it as fast as we would before, but we're doing it more consistent, and we're doing more of them.
Yeah,
so.
you guys waited a long time for these. I think it took us 3 years to design them, go through the concepts, make the prototypes, bring the first great prototype up, that was really very close to this, and then you were able to use that, find out what the real problems were, design the solution to that.
And I've been of a lot of sides, and when I first heard that you guys were working on it, oh, that's not going to happen. And then when I seen the first one in testing, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
And then when I started using it, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a dream come true pretty much. And I'll take the paper off of this one too, so we can see this is the flamey one that we had.
Yeah. That's an intensity of flame that just sends shivers through the bones of a guitar maker.
Yeah.
It really does.
We've done it pretty good.
The reason that flamey stuff breaks is because the way flame works is you have a piece of wood. I'm going to demonstrate it here. You have a piece of wood and the grain is moving like this. So when the flame is real intense, it's because it runs all the way through the piece of wood and comes all the way back up. So you basically have end grain, end grain, end grain, and it wants to just snap apart. So here you have the success of that. Perfectly flat, no ripples, no warps,
no cracks.
no cracks, piping hot.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
So. Like I said before, this would have been a problem child for us before. Just trying to get this guitar in here. Where now it's just to roll the down, it's set. This one's cool.
There we go.
This will be a final product.
Beautiful bends, beautiful curves. You can kind of see, this is how it's going to fit in the mold. See how these two sides kind of they converge here, they pull away, but watch, with just the slightest pressure, I can just push here, and they kiss each other the entire way. And that's because the overbending process is still the natural shape of the guitar, just wound up a little bit tighter. And that's what's going to happen when we put it in the mold. Even though in its relaxed state, it's not exactly the same as the mold, as soon as we let the sides touch and put a spreader bar in the middle, it's just going to come up to the mold and kiss it perfectly and fit just like it grew inside that mold.
And it also makes our binding slots a lot more perfect.
Yeah, binding slots are better. The side is a more even thickness.
A lot easier for everybody else down the line. Okay.
So this rosewood is ready to come off. We'll take a look at that.
And hopefully we'll have a good example of how it bleeds.
Yeah. Some rosewood is more oily than others, but it's all. Some of it just pours out.
Yeah, it's bad.
Pours out.
Real bad.
But other rosewood is just a medium amount of oil. All of it has some oil to some extent.
But even no matter how bad it is or how more oil it has, as long as we use that paper, we can do a maple right after it, and we won't have any kind of evidence of having a rosewood bent before it. This one's not too bad, but you can see on the ends how
look at all of this.
How it bleeds.
Now let's open it up and look at the paper on the inside. Whew. Those are really hot. I mean, they're 300 degrees hot.
Yeah.
So the side is real clean. You can see a little bit of staining process here, and then here's where all of the oil was absorbed onto the paper. All of that stain that you see from the water, all of the stain you see from the oil, typically would be on the side bender itself.
It would have been all transferred to the shim.
Yeah, and then it would transfer to the next
to the next
to the
guitar,
next side.
to the next guitar.
So now you have
to
a
the next
perfectly clean side ready to go into keeper form. Rosewood almost doesn't even need to go in a keeper
No,
form.
you can see it. You can see already by itself.
It just really holds the
really
shape
nice.
so well. East Indian rosewood is really one of the greatest woods to work with. It's just got wonderful characteristics.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. Well, there you have it. That's just a kind of a great primer on how these side benders work. All made in our own tooling department here, kind of conceived, designed, completely built here. It's been a great asset to your life and the guys upstairs. We haven't even addressed the issue of cutaways yet and how we bend that. We'll make that a different installment, but we have the first prototype cutaway bender that's in this same family, working pretty well. We're now at the point where we're making the real changes to those, finding out what are the problems in production. And I think probably 6 months, 8 months from now, we'll be bending cutaways in this new fashion. Right now, you would take one of these, put them on a cutaway bender, and use the old style machines. So one of our next tours back here will be to talk about the cutaway benders and take a look at what happens afterwards with the blocking and the application of the kerfing or the kerf lining that goes on the guitars. So thank you very much for joining us on this. I hope you found this to be real informative. Thank you, Gil. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.